can purchase Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise on its own, or experience the paid additional content as part of Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, the new membership plan for Nintendo Switch Online.
What?
Please visit the official website for more details on Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack.
So like the title of the video entails, and what you saw at the beginning there, we're going to take a look at the new pricing scale that they have for the Nintendo Switch expansion pass there, which is a little disheartening for a lot of people. But hey, if you want to see more great content like this, make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified of when I make another video. There are some links in the description, one especially to my link tree that has all my social medias, including my Twitch, that you're gonna miss out on clips like this if you don't go and follow.
They plan to spread their pestilence. You may well have need of the tincture I taught you.
Oh yeah. Now let's go ahead and start off with this video. So, like you saw in the intro there, the new pricing for the Switch Online service is $50 a year for the expansion pass, or $80 for the family. So you can get the single for $50 or the family for $80, which is quite a big hike in price from the $20 or $35 that we were originally getting for the services. And now let's break down just a moment what the actual online service offers to begin with as the baseline, and then we'll get into what the expansion pack is going to offer and why I don't think it's really a great deal. So first, the Nintendo Switch Online service actually just offers the ability to do voice chat. Nope, that's actually through the Nintendo Switch app. So you have to actually download a third-party app to be able to do that. It does allow for cloud backups, and I think that's the main purpose that a lot of people use it for, other than it does offer SNES and NES games, kind of like a little game library built into that $20 price package. Now, I can see why Nintendo would want to start maybe upping the price a little bit more if they are going to add other consoles on there. That's perfectly okay. The problem with the price hike that we have here is that we're paying $50 for that expansion pass and getting kind of not really a whole lot of games. So take a look at the games that they actually are going to offer us for Nintendo Switch Online service for that expansion pass. So first and foremost, here are the list of N64 games. We have Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Wind Back, Mario Tennis, Mario Doctor 64, and Sin and Punishment. So kind of a pretty solid list of games, but not too solid. I'm really missing, if they would have just added one more on that top row for Smash Brothers, that would have been better. But hey, not too bad, I don't think. But the next list of games is a little bit more lackluster, and the reason being is that a lot of these games actually come in different packs and collections that are already out there on the eShop or the Nintendo Switch shop. So that way you can go and purchase them that way versus having to go through paying $50 for a single and $80 for a family of 6. And you might think, oh well, a family of 6, you can split it across a few friends and everybody kind of pays like $4 or so. But if we break it down to like what the family unit is, like for me, in order to do that, to have my just 2 kids to have the online service, I would then need to pay $80 or $50 per extra, making it $150. So it's either pay $80 or $150. There's not really a good price there. And honestly, they should have made it as like a tiered pricing. Like, you want 64, let's pay $10. You want that Sega Genesis, let's pay $20. I really feel like that would have been a better model to go with, and then they could have made it $35 to add on the Animal Crossing. Now with it, you do get these snazzy little controllers here, which I'm a little upset that we only get the 3-button one here in the West, and the East is getting the 6-button one, because I really do like those extra 3 buttons on there. But back on topic, because as I was saying, this is a rant, so I'm going to get off topic a little bit sometimes, but I'll try to bring it back around to what we were talking about. So with that said, as you saw, the lineup there is it's okay. It's a little lackluster, but Nintendo, let me show you this. So Nintendo actually does plan on adding, these games in upcoming, to the expansion pass, and more to come. They haven't really said more to come. Now, one that does kind of tickle my fancy a little bit there is Banjo-Kazooie, mainly because that's made by Rare, who, if you didn't know, is now owned by Microsoft. So this would be a collaboration between Microsoft and Nintendo, essentially, in order to bring that game to their platform. And that might leave the door open for other games, such as like Conker's Bad Fur Day. I know we're probably never going to get that on there, but honestly, it is one of the best N64 games, and really, I think it's just a really good game overall. And if you haven't played it, you really should, because it takes on a lot of those tropes and kind of like makes fun of a lot of things that pop culture kind of seems back in the day, honestly, in like the early 2000 era. Late 90s, because that's when we had like the Matrix come out. And I remember on Conker's Bad Fur Day, they had a whole scene where he was acting like Neo from the bank heist scene at the end of the movie. Spoilers, I guess, from a almost 30-year-old, 20-year-old movie at this point. But either way, let's get back on topic. So with this here, as far as this goes, as you can see, we're going to get a little bit more like Majora's Mask, which is a really good Zelda game. I think it's the better of the two between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask for the N64. But if we're going to get both of them, even better, because they are a story that kind of combines together over time. Now back to what I was saying here. Let's go back to the rant screen. So it is something that I do find just, I don't know, I just don't like it. I don't like the fact that we're going to get this service that costs a lot of money and we're not getting a lot out of it at the beginning. It seems like they're going to add more onto it, but it just seems like here that they're adding more to their game subscription service than they are actually updating and making their online service better. Because I feel like that's where they actually should be focusing a lot of their attention, because again, like I said at the beginning of the video, we do not have voice chat, and that's very odd that like they're trying to put this on par or pricing wise with other services such as like Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation Now or anything along those lines, like Ubisoft Connect, but it isn't giving us the same type of value that those services are. Because if you look at Xbox Game Pass, for an example, that has a very big back catalog of games. It also has the ability to have first day title on there, so if anything that Microsoft makes will be automatically added to the catalog of games on for Xbox Game Pass. And the same for PlayStation Now. Any of their PlayStation Hit games will be also added to that service in on first day launches or anything along those lines. So there isn't really an incentive to get this type of service, because first off, there's not really a whole lot of games, and the games that they do have, a lot of them aren't are lackluster, because with the NES and SNES services, honestly, I haven't opened it up in over a year, and I don't plan on opening it up anytime soon. I don't think I even have that app downloaded on my Switch anymore, just because it doesn't serve a purpose. I don't like it. The only reason I really have the Switch Online service is a cloud backup service, so that way I don't lose anything in case something happens with my actual console, or I'm able to switch things from another console whenever I inevitably get the OLED model. So it's one of those things that a lot of people, it just seems that they're upset because the pricing is bad. They're not updating the online service, which has a lot of problems, and then they're adding on the added benefit of having the Animal Crossing expansion pass on there. but not doing any of the other stuff that really needs to take. It's like having a road that has a lot of potholes, but then at the end of the road, they're just like, well, we'll pay for your car services. But that would cost the state a lot of money. Why would you just continue to pay for the car services when you can just pave the road, get rid of the potholes, and everything's fixed? So I wish that they would take a look at, you know, those kind of things, because if they actually put some effort into like updating the online service and like giving us an added benefit of having voice chat on there, because it's not like they can't do it, because other games like Fortnite and I think there's another game like, I think Overwatch does it, to where you can just talk in the game. So why is it on the developers of the game to make their service work when they should just make something like that inherently work for them? Other platforms do it, like Microsoft and PlayStation, and if they're trying to price their things a little bit above what Microsoft and PlayStation prices theirs, then they need to add an extra benefit in there. And I don't really think that just adding on to, you know, I'm sorry to say it, but to 20-year-old or almost 30-year-old gaming platforms at this point to a service and then charging us $80 to have it is really a good way of going about earning customer loyalty and everything. But again, Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo's going to do, because Nintendo is Nintendo, and they don't really care about their customers. They only really care about their IP and their money and how much money they can get. And this really shows it, because they're not giving us a lot of IP, but they're charging us a lot of money for their little bit of IPs that we are getting, just because they did a deal with Sega Genesis. And again, they had a tier pricing where they made it to where if you could get the Nintendo 64 games, and then if you wanted to add Sega Genesis, you could, for an extra amount each month, and then adding in cloud service things there with it. But I think that's all I really want to rant about here today, is just basically what I thought about this, why I think it's a bad idea, and why I think really Nintendo should maybe lower the pricing a little bit. I would say good pricing for the single would be $25 for the expansion pass, with $20 on that. So that's $45 to get the Nintendo Switch Online and the expansion pass. Perfectly okay at that point, because then we are actually dropping it down a little bit, getting a little bit of a value there with it. And $5-10 difference is not that really big of a percentage on your bottom line when you are a company like Nintendo, because these online services, while they do make some money for them, they probably aren't the big bang for Nintendo's buck. It is for other services like Microsoft, and I do see them trying to add a push to kind of get that, but it just seems like Nintendo went ahead and was like, hey, we see that PlayStation and Microsoft has this type of service and they're making this much money off of it, why can't we do that? And they can't do it. It just feels like they're going about it the wrong way. So I really feel like Nintendo, if you are watching, which you're probably not, no reason for you to, but if anything, you really should drop the price, like I would say $10-15 at most. It's not gonna hurt your bottom line, because you are Nintendo and you have Pokemon, Mario, Samus, pretty much the last 30-40 years of gaming could be dedicated to what Nintendo has given it. But I really feel like this is one of those moments that they're taking away from gaming rather than adding to it like they used to, and it is quite sad when they were a company to behold of those kind of things. Anyway, that's just one man's thoughts on things, but if you have any thoughts on it yourself, go ahead and leave some thoughts down in the comments below. Other than that, my name's Tasty. I hope you have a fucking wonderful gaming night, and I am out.